Good evening. This is the Harbor Shellfish Advisory Board, and today is May 6, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order. 5:03 p.m. We have an approval of tonight's agenda, please.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion's made by Mr. Anderson, seconded by Mr. Bossy to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor, Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Bossy?
Aye.
Mr. Brace?
Aye.
Do we have any members on the line?
We do not,
Okay,
not even Kona.
chair votes aye as well. Minutes for April 15th.
Did not do them,
Okay,
did not get to them, is what I should say.
all right, thank you, Peter. Anything from the Marine Department?
No, I don't see her.
All right. Natural Resources Report, Tara Riley, please.
Thank you. On April 24th, we had our first oyster spawn, and they are going to be 12 days old tomorrow. So they're getting ready to set. We're going to be doing oyster singles this year and also some spat on shell. Next week on the 12th, which is a Monday, we are starting our second set of spring dive surveys. These are just for scallop abundance. And we started doing these to take a look at overwinter mortality of seed and also to get an idea of population size going into summer and also what is left over from the commercial season at 20 of our 40 sites. And this will also kind of set us up for our fall surveys. And so we're able to track any mortality that might occur in August during kind of our more challenging months with elevated water temperatures. Right after that week, we have the 4th grade from the Nantucket Intermediate School coming through. This is the second year they're doing their tour of the hatchery as part of their STEM curriculum. So we're excited to have them back. After that, we have interns arrive and we start our scallop spawn. So we'll be knee deep in shellfish and everything going on at the hatchery. It's been very busy already. We continue to work on the eelgrass management plan. We have a draft to review right now. We meet every other week. We're not meeting this week, but next week we meet Wednesdays at 10:30. So we're reviewing, the body of it. They're still working on the recommendations in that section, but it's exciting that it's come together pretty quickly. In other news, we were notified this week that Congressman Moakley was not able to get our state shellfish money into the budget and approved. So I'm in conversation with Emma Green Beach from the Vineyard and Josh Reitzma, who's in Barnstable, and we're trying to coordinate an effort to write a letter to try to get it into the Senate budget. So there's an opportunity for them to consider it again. This is $50,000 that we usually get each year just for Nantucket. The other two each also get $50,000. And this is slated strictly for propagation and shellfish use. And so we might be, requesting letters from SHAB and also a few other organizations in support of this line item for their budget. And Jeff wanted me to mention that last week they held an aquaculture meeting for the growers to make sure everybody's on the same page, and a variety of leases were renewed last Wednesday at the select board meeting for 10 more years. So if you have any questions about the report, just let me know and I will try to answer them as best I can.
Thank you, Tara. Mr. Brace.
Tara, what's the timeline on that letter?
It's a good question. I just replied to Emma and Josh to see what they thought the best path forward would be for a coordinated effort for the Cape and Islands. But I think, you know, writing individual letters in support of Nantucket is something that isn't going to hurt us. So I think we can go ahead and, you know, write that letter. And if you want, I can send a template. I know that we've written this letter before. There was one other time since I've been here that we have not been able to get the money. And we wrote some letters back then. I'm happy to look that up and send that to you, Peter.
And just bring it up so that, you know, if the board wants to vote to write a letter, then I can get going on it between now and the June 3rd meeting. At which time they could tell me it's bad or good. So,
I'd like to make a motion for Peter to begin writing a letter to give to Tara or for the state, so she get possible additional funding. I'll second that.
Motion's been made, for Mr. Brace to write a letter for state funding. Mr. Bossy has seconded that. Any discussion? All in favor, Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Bossy?
Aye.
Mr. Sherlin?
Aye.
Mr. Brace?
all right,
Chair votes aye as well.
Dave coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, send me that. Sarah, please send me that template.
I will. I'll send it tomorrow if that's okay.
Sure.
Board members, questions, comments on natural resources report?
I have one question. I know it's really more for Jeff than you. What was the extent of the damage out in Smith Point from the vehicles driving out there?
That's a good question. I definitely do not have an answer for that.
Okay.
Those videos were Smith's Point.
I have seen them, yes.
Yeah.
I understand from Vince Murphy that they drove partially on town land and partially on land owned by the guys in the last house out there. They also flew a drone from the end of Smith Point over all the seals really low. And they were also then up on Great Point where one of them ran over a seagull, and I guess trustees staff saw that and they were able to corral them and kick them off the property, but they got all their license plate numbers. And that environmental police have been notified and Nantucket police and.
Good.
Yes.
Nice somebody was there to get that video. That could be used for some educational purposes.
Well, I mean, if they
If
if they ran over plovers or.
That's federal, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, deep doo-doo.
Tara, do you know what the temperature of the harbor water is? Just curious.
I think last time it came in, it surprised me. It had jumped up to like 55 coming into the hatchery, which was a big jump from like the previous 2 weeks.
Okay, interesting. Did you hear that the vineyard extended their scallop season through April?
I did. I read it online. I did not hear it in person. So that's, yeah, I was surprised by that.
Yeah, me too, but I did appreciate your comments and thinking of the next season that we have an abundance of scallops. Maybe we'll consider being more aggressive with the bushel limit. It only seems to make sense, but every season is different and we'll just simply see what next season brings, right? So thank you, Tara. Anybody else? Comments or questions on natural resources report? Public comment? Old business amendments to town shellfish regulations. Where do we stand with this, Tara?
So that was sent to town council, right after you guys approved, the draft to send to them. Of course, then town meeting preparation and town meeting hit. So, you know, I think that we will be sending an email tomorrow to, ask the status and when we can expect a review from town council.
Okay. Shall we keep it on our agenda till we,
Yeah, maybe
Uh,
just put update
yeah.
on shellfish regs.
Okay. Thank you. Board members, anything on the amendments to town shellfish regulations? New business, taking of bay scallops in shellfish closure areas. I thought this was really interesting. Thank you, Jim, for bringing this up. Knowing that there is a large area out there that, is restricted, and, depending upon the wind, that could be handy for a diehard scalloper to want to fish along Washington Street area, or any place else inside of that line. So, what did we end up? Did JC have a comment on this at our last meeting? Do you recall? Anybody recall?
I believe Jeff said you're allowed to take baseballs in that area.
Uh,
I could be wrong, Kara, do you remember?
I believe that I heard that if you were going to fish in that area, you're not allowed to scallop in another area for that day.
I
That's
thought,
that's what I recall.
I thought it was just pertaining to bycatch.
right.
Maybe.
I think,
I'll
Yeah,
have to
that-
look back at it.
There was definitely discussion on bycatch, that no bycatch could be taken from the area.
I mean, I guess that should be added to the regulations maybe, or amended at some point of, to make sure that that's clear to everybody.
Mhm,
So you have to catch a lot of clams while you're out there, you
They-
can't keep them.
Yes, correct.
exactly, yeah. Okay,
Jim, can I ask a question about the bycatch? I know, some people do have their commercial clam permit, but are there a lot of people out there like really taking them for the market
I would
while they're
say-
scalloping? Like, is
I
it
would
worth
say
it?
no. So
Okay,
very minimally, I think most people just give them away, but, still you don't
Okay.
want to give away clams that are from a contaminated area.
Right.
right.
But I think everybody would be totally okay with agreeing to not take bycatch for the fishing in that area for the day. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
any problem with that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Dave, Mr. Franzuto?
yeah, I've never heard anything about the bycatch issue. I remember that some of the comments were that, it is a good place to fish if you can't fish somewhere else and there's a set of scallops in there. So I don't see there being any restrictions for fishing in there. The bycatch, somebody else is gonna have to answer that question, but I've never heard anything about bycatch in there. And not being able to fish in another area.
I don't know if you were here at the meeting where that was discussed, Dave.
No, I was, because I was one of the people that said almost exactly what I just said. It's a good place to fish when the wind's blowing wrong.
Mm. Okay, okay, I specifically remember the bycatch, discussion. I don't remember the discussion that you couldn't fish anyplace else, though,
Well,
so.
that actually does make sense, right? So if you have bycatch and you keep it on your boat from a contaminated area, and then you go out and you've got bycatch from somewhere else, there's no way to tell them apart, right? So, I mean, any commercial fisherman probably would throw the bycatch back if
Mhm,
it's in a
mhm.
contaminated area, because that's a big risk, it would seem to me.
I think that's what would have to be added to the regulation. You'd have to
Yeah.
say, if you fish in that area at all on that day, you can retain 0 bycatch. For the
Right,
entire day, no matter where else you go.
Mhm.
right.
And I think
That
everybody,
makes sense.
I can see where if you had bycatch from that area and then you fish somewhere else and push the whatever you had overboard, then you run the risk of possibly contaminating some. I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah,
But I think you said it well, right, that Jim said it, that if you're fishing a contaminated area, you just 0 bycatch, that's all. Doesn't matter where but no restriction about fishing anywhere else,
Mhm.
just no bycatch.
Mhm.
Which just makes common sense.
But Mr. Chairman, Jim. On a day when you go out scalping. What's the amount of cogs that you might bring back?
Well, you're allowed 5%, so. I mean, I don't know, you might bring, sometimes you get. A basket full in a day, you can or more. I mean, second bend there's a lot this year, but other times you get like 2 or 0. Depends where you're fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something I wouldn't even think about. Like, I don't care about a co-op. It's all of it.
5% would be a half bushel or a quarter bushel.
20% would be a full bushel, so it'd be like quarter bushel, I guess.
Okay, right.
It's heavy math.
And it is a time of year, through scallop season when I know plenty of people who are making stuffed quahogs, things like that, and gosh, they sure are delicious, so. It is nice when guys bring in some quahogs and give them to somebody who's willing to make something out of them and share them with other people. All right, so. Tara, is there any way to? Add what we're talking about here into the regs?
I don't have them in front of me, but I'll have to review what was put in, just to double check. But
I
yeah,
know-
if town council hasn't looked at them, I can, see if Jeff can send a quick amendment.
Thank you, Tara, you took some notes on this,
I did.
thank you. Sorry for the 11.5 hour of something in that, but,
If it's John Giorgio. That's gonna look at it. He was here. He would have to be here for town meeting on Saturday.
You won't be getting to it quickly.
Yeah, so I just saw him sitting downtown looking like he was waiting to get on a boat, so. After last night,
probably looking forward to some rest.
yeah,
Okay. Anything else on the taking of, bay scallops and shellfish closure area? Introduction to discussion on bay scallop marketing. Okay, so, I just happened to be at physical therapy and Mr. Ken Brassfield was there. He's he's attended meetings in the past. He used to be, a buyer. And he said he would like to share with us his latest knowledge on bay scallop marketing. And he thought it would be good for us to realize what's taking place out there, why sea scallops have kind of taken over the market versus the bay scallop. And I know we've said over and over here that when it comes to the monetary end of this, it's really kind of none of our business. But I would like to think that just gaining some information and being able to share that information with other scallopers or with the Shellfish Association, and it could certainly invite Mr. Brassfield to a Shellfish Association meeting also, but me personally, I thought it would be a nice idea to have him come in and speak about this, and I just thought I'd ask the rest of the board how you all felt about it. Mr. Anderson.
I think it'd be very helpful. I mean, we don't have to talk price. There's distribution channels. There's plenty of other things we can talk about.
Okay, that sounds good. Mr. Bossy.
Yeah, or as long as he's not trying to protect some specific market he's got built up. And
he's still a buyer. Bobby sold them all winter, didn't he?
Part of it, I think.
Part of it?
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, he bought some, sold them some too, so. I think that would be good for him to talk to us. I mean, without any market at all, there's no fishery and all this is kind of. Hatchery stuff's kind of somewhat pointless if we don't have fishery, so I think it's good for us to talk about it.
Well, it's nothing we would vote on, right?
Right.
It's just information
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
I think it'd be
that
good.
we would use when we had future conversations, right?
Well, and information sharing with other fishermen and you know, whether other fishermen are online at the meeting or we see them on the street and share information with them at a later date. However that goes, I just thought, you know, it would be a good idea to hear what he has to say. Mr. Franzuto? Any opinion on that?
You're muted,
You're
Dave.
muted, Dave.
Dave?
Dave, you're muted.
There
There
we
you go.
Sorry,
All right.
I'm on my phone and you'll all appreciate this. I'm in Andrew Vorse's guest bathroom awaiting a delivery of furniture. How's that for a convoluted thing?
That's on,
Yeah.
that's on the record.
That's probably too much information for you, but
Yeah.
no, Braceville's been doing it a long time and he seems to be pretty knowledgeable. And, you know, he's got a little niche, the way he markets. So yeah, I'm glad to talk.
Okay, good, all right. I will reach out to him and, Mr. Bossy. Our next meeting is on May 20th, which is election day. Will you be?
I'll still be here. They don't tally the votes until that night, so it's my bad.
Okay, so you'll
Yeah.
be at this meeting, okay.
Yeah, I'm working in the morning at the
Okay.
polls, so, yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, great, good. All right, I was wondering whether we should wait until the new board member. But I could reach out to the new board member and see if she would attend that meeting. Anyway, so okay. Anybody else know if they are not able to attend the May 20th meeting? At this point, do we know or not? Peter is gonna be in town,
I'll be here.
all right, okay, and I'll see if he's available then. If not, it'll have to be a later date. All right, any public comment, questions, anything for our next meeting that you can think of now to be on the agenda? Next meeting, May 20th, after that, June 3rd.
Jim and the
Sure, I can give you a little update. Sounds like they're gonna be doing the project for the Monomoy debris cleanup in the next 2 weeks.
Oh,
So that is happening. And I was gonna ask them to the next meeting too, if I can at the moment. You want me to add something to the meeting, next meeting right now too? Or do you want Scott to go first?
uh,
No, you go.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna maybe get, they've been talking about dinghy regulations in the past for the town, and I think maybe we could have a little discussion about that. Or maybe Sheila can give us some information on that, or Dave, as far as, you know, diggings having names and phone numbers on them for multiple reasons, but it's one thing I want to add on there.
You talking the regulations in
Any-
addition to what she was trying to do with those, with the ones that are
Yes.
overcrowding?
Correct.
Okay,
I would have to say, if we're gonna discuss that, and we can certainly put it on the agenda. But I will reach out to Sheila. To see if she can attend the meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Here. Dave,
I didn't hear what Jim said. You want to look at what, Jim, or what?
I just wanted to discuss dinghy regulations as far as, you know, people are supposed to have their names and phone number on them, and that's very rare that that's the case. And I think for multiple reasons, it's good to do that, and I think it should be discussed.
Okay, did I send you guys a copy of the new draft?
No,
no,
Okay, I will once I get back to my house that has internet. And on my laptop and not in the bathroom, I will send those to you and you guys can take a look at them, and then and if we can get Sheila at the meeting, I'll try that. I'll try to do that too.
great, thank you, and this is something updated from Sheila? The draft?
Well, I rewrote what she had, changed quite a bit of it, and I believe that I believe that the changes that I made are in red or highlighted. The reason that they haven't come for discussion is she was still trying to decide what she was gonna do with the dinghy dock situation. But there's a lot of other stuff that was changed and updated besides the dinghy dock stuff. So I'll send you what I have, and then you guys can at least see what we're talking.
Thank you, Dave.
No problem.
Andy.
Scott?
So my question really relates to, I think Sheila. And I've been having concerns about like, what happens if the other steam slow boat terminal is unusable? Is that under her purvey, or is that the Coast Guard, or is that emergency preparedness?
It's, if I could,
Please do, Dave.
it's why I've been pushing for a second commercial pier, because it's not only if something were to happen to the slip, but also if something were to sink in the channel and you couldn't get a barge or the steamship down there. That's why that alternative that you guys.
Losing you, Dave. Dave, hang on, got a bad connection.
If he tries it without the video, he'll probably do a lot better.
Yeah, now you're muted.
Any buttons to push.
There we go, there we go.
That's why I've been pushing for that alternative emergency, even if it's an emergency that we all voted on, that's included in the harbor plan. Yeah, it would be the steamship, the Coast Guard, and half the free world trying to figure out how to get groceries and stuff offloaded, even if it were to be in some type of a barge with a crane or something like that. But there, when I wish I was still the emergency management coordinator, because I would jump all over this. But yeah, you bring up an important point, Scott. If they lose the second slip, we're all going to get pretty hungry.
But, Mr. Chairman, David, I think Scott's question was also, who has the jurisdiction for the steamship authority if we lose both slips?
Well, they're a state entity. They're a state entity. So you would be banging on the governor, and that avenue, for people to be making quick and relative decisions. The harbor master really doesn't, other than a voice in why it would be and so important, and also what some alternatives would be. She doesn't have jurisdiction. She's got jurisdiction to close the port. I've closed the port before due to oil spills or accidents or stuff like that. But she would be involved, and you can bet that the seven of us would be involved in trying to come up with a quick, even if it was an intermediary solution. But it's a state.
Okay.
And the Corps and the Coast Guard, and it just.
From my understanding, the Coast Guard closed the slip. But I was surprised to see, before the barge showed up there to actually work on the Dolphin, the freight boat was using the slip, but not, the Eagle or the, usually never uses it anyway, but, I was kind of surprised to see the freight boat using it. But
Not susceptible to wind.
yeah.
That's my main concern. I was down there on a fairly breezy day watching them come into slip number 2. And how they, when they come in and they get pushed, even if you lose a bow thruster, you're going into that, I'll say, the rock over there.
Yeah. At the end of
We had years ago, one of the fast ferries, the previous steamship fast ferry got set by the wind onto those rocks by Old North Wharf. And it came within 30 minutes to an hour of sinking.
Wow, the flying cloud.
Yeah, the flying cloud. We had every
Wow.
pump, we had every pump on the island pumping it.
No kidding, wow.
Flying cloud, yeah. One appropriate name.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Board members, public, all right, if you think of anything else you wanna have on the agenda, give us a call. Peter or myself. Before our next meeting. If there's nothing else, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion's made by Mr. Bossy. To adjourn tonight's meeting, seconded by Mr. Anderson. Any last minute discussion? All in favor of adjourning, Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Bossy,
Aye.
Mr. Sherlin.
Aye.
Mr. Brace,
Aye.
Mr. Franzuto,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. Thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned 5:34 PM. Thank you,
Good night.
Ted. Good night.
Good
Good night.
Bam.
So. Tara just texted me, but that was in the regulations for the